Ritual Bloodlines, the families behind the curtain. Welcome to the School of Sos Vault. I'm Adeline Atlas, and this is your official navigation guide to the Occult Families series, a high-level, spiritually grounded body of work that may be one of the most confronting inside the entire vault. It is also one of the most important, because if you've ever felt like your life has been haunted by patterns you didn't consent to, dreams that feel more like surveillance than subconscious processing, or strange emotional bonds to people you've tried to walk away from, you may be entangled with something far older and more structured than personal trauma. This series is not about blame, it's about spiritual architecture. And the deeper truth is this: some families don't just inherit wealth, land, or surnames. They inherit rituals, contracts, and spiritual control systems. These families are what we call occult bloodlines, groups that carry forward magical systems, ritual timings, and spiritual permissions across generations. And if you've ever been close to one, by blood, by relationship, or by childhood proximity, your field may still be coded with what they passed down, even if you've long since left. This series will teach you how to identify the signs that you were born into or bonded with an occult family system, understand how ritual abuse, both physical and non-physical, is used to establish energetic compliance and generational bindings, recognize how families, biological or chosen, can perform astral marriage, blood magic, dream infiltration, and energy siphoning, decode the difference between innate spiritual gifts and manipulated spiritual programming, and most importantly, how to break contracts, dissolve entanglements, and spiritually extricate yourself from a system you did not consent to serve. The families we explore in this series don't always appear sinister. Some are deeply charming, philanthropic, creative, or socially respected. But beneath the surface is a structure. And the structure follows rules: rituals performed at specific times, emotional manipulation disguised as care, dream contact disguised as coincidence, sexual enmeshment disguised as love, and often, physical trauma disguised as medical emergency or normal family dynamics. This series begins with foundational teachings on how ritual families operate, including bloodline contract theory, why certain lineages carry spiritual authority across timelines, soul entrapment via family objects, heirlooms, DNA links, or sexual imprinting, the role of names, birth dates, and lunar cycles in arranging marriages, conceptions, and sacrifices, multi-generational SRA, satanic ritual abuse, patterns that cycle through dreams, addictions, sexual confusion, and fertility disruption. You'll learn why you're contacted on your birthday, during full moons, after you set boundaries, or after a traumatic event occurs. These are not random. They are attempts to reactivate contracts, reopen channels, and feed off your reaction energy. We'll explain how reactive abuse is used as a spell, provoking your rage, confusion, or grief in order to reseal energetic ties. This is also the series where we name what others won't: how family members use menstrual blood, hair, saliva, or sexual fluids in spiritual work. Why incest in occult families is not just physical, it's energetic marriage, done in dreams, rituals, or trauma loop formations. How younger members are assigned ritual roles before they can speak, and how that programming can be reversed. Why certain children are watched more closely than others, often gifted with spiritual sight or empathy, but surrounded by strange illness, sabotage, or dissociation. We also cover the mechanics of infiltration, when you weren't born into a family, but are targeted for bonding. This can happen through romantic partners, mentorships, healers, or even therapists. If someone is sent to you, assigned to you, or suddenly drawn into your orbit after a spiritual breakthrough, this series will help you determine if it's divine alignment or programmed placement. One of the most freeing revelations in this series is this: you can exit the ritual system. You can revoke spiritual contracts. You can clear energy ties to names, DNA, sexual connections, or psychic threads. But you need to understand what was done first, so you know where to begin. Throughout this series, you'll also be referred to two other vault collections. First, the Symbolism series, because once you understand how occult families operate, you'll start seeing their symbols in public space. Family crests, brands, stage design, and even children's programming are used to mark territory and transmit lineage codes. This is how occult families maintain influence long after the body dies, through symbols that carry the frequency forward. Second, the Entertainment or Ritualistic series, because many occult families control the entertainment industry. Their children become performers. Their rituals become halftime shows. Their trauma cycles become Netflix scripts. And when you learn how ritual performance mirrors family ceremony, the entire cultural matrix begins to fall apart in front of you. This series is not for the faint of heart. It may bring up memories, triggers, and sudden flashes of recognition. That's why we include energy clearing protocols, cord-cutting techniques for specific family ties, dream exit, and spiritual shielding methods, and templates for declaring contract revocation across blood, soul, and astral timelines. We don't teach from fear. We teach from awareness. And this series is about empowering those who were trapped into silence, told they were crazy, or gaslit into doubting their own timelines. If that's you, this is the mirror. Not the kind that reflects who you were told you are. The kind that shows you what was hidden. You are not cursed. You were coded. And codes can be rewritten. Inside the Occult Family series, you will no longer be confused about why you were born into what you were, or why you attract what you do. This is the place where bloodlines are named, contracts are seen, and spiritual sovereignty begins. You're not here to repeat the spell. You're here to end it. And now, you can. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it, and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.